All right, guys, back with another video that I think you guys are going to find very interesting. Please don't hesitate to share these videos. One of our last videos about scams went viral. One of our most viral videos actually recently in a long time. And I'm glad it did, because it's nothing but PSA, public service announcement, for people to be aware of what really is happening out there. I'm gonna run across several today, but some of these we'll get back into much more in depth. Actually, I'm gonna bring my mom in, which does a lot of the bookkeeping and accounting things for the business. So she's the one that ends up having to deal with a lot of this stuff. And I'm actually gonna also bring in one of the detectives that we've dealt with in the past that I think y'all will find very interesting. To go over some of these, because some of them just take way too much time to go over start to finish. And if you leave anything out, the little thing that gets left out might be the little thing that trips you up, not knowing that it's a scam. So again, feel free to share this on your social media. Put it on your Facebook, share it however you can. Because one day, I don't care what business, it's not just because we're in the car business, it's not just because we do business internationally. You could just be a regular person working at a regular job. You're going to come across a scam that hits you. I'll give you an example real quick. One that's coming around pretty rampant right now, watch out for. You get a phone call from a number that actually shows up as a power company. Now, I have power accounts in lots of different business names and LLCs and things like that. So this phone call comes across, says, hey, are you Mr. Davis? Yes, I am. Your power bill has not been paid and you are subject to be cut off now. So I'm just calling you to let you know you can get this paid up. And I'm like, nah, all my bills get paid. Everything is good. Literally was about to hang up and they were like, there has been a theft of mail coming into our office and maybe yours was part of that. You're welcome to check your bank when you have time, but we need to settle this right now just to get it straight. And you know, my bill for that particular property they were referencing, it's usually $200. They said it's $208, you know, a $15 admin fee. We're gonna waive all the other fees, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, how can I pay it? And they're like, well, do you have Zelle? And I'm like, yeah, I do have Zelle. A couple other things they mentioned. They did not mention credit card. Something else flagged me up. So I actually had a phone call ring in. Thankfully, that phone call rang in and it was my guy at the auction. It was an important phone call and I stayed on the phone call and didn't get back to him. Well, lo and behold, that's an actual scam. And people fall for it all the time. And in busyness of the day, I had somebody over here, people asking me questions, and I'm trying to deal with this, and it was actually a property that I have a tenant at, and I didn't want them to lose power on my behalf, so it was kind of, it could have turned bad quickly. I could have gave $200 or $300 away quickly with no tracing. So that can happen to anybody. Search that one, you'll see how many people fall for that. Power company, gas company, phone company, they all pull the same tricks. And it's fast paced. They want to get you to do it right now and you don't pay any attention and it happens. So we'll go to a couple of these real quick. These are just some that I pulled out of our stack. We've got stacks and stacks of things. And again, you guys don't believe stuff is that rampant. Another comment a lot of people made on the last one, you should run a sting. You should turn it in. We do, until we didn't any longer. We get this stuff almost every day in the form of an email. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day we get email scams. But the ones that are physical, we do make a case. There's all the information. Here's another one we made a case. 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 We do report it. But if it is jurisdictional or out of state, it's harder. And if it's out of the country, it's almost impossible. But here's a real quick one. So this customer called, actually Christian, and I think he was trying to buy a piece of equipment that didn't have a title. And he's like, look, I need this piece of equipment. I got something coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys a cashier's check. I'll put tracking on it. Sure enough, we saved the envelope, we saved everything. He sent it. We got a check, a cashier's check. And it was kind of weird because the person calling was like a business. This is from a real estate attorney. Oh yeah, it's just because it's coming from a property that I sold, so I'm dispersing the money this way. Didn't look right, wasn't but $9,000, but did not look proper. And of course, the flag on this one was he kept calling, can I pick it up, can I pick it up, can I pick it up? Well, it was an untitled piece of equipment, so if we would have let it go, you know, something like this here, if we would have let it go, we'd have no recourse. At least on a vehicle, if something leaves, we'll usually hold the title till check clears. I don't care if it's cashier's check or not. We're holding the title. Sometimes the vehicle might leave prior to that. Depends on the situation, whether it's verifiable funds. In this case, fraudulent check. We called this company here. Of course, there's no phone number, but we did end up calling the company here. I don't want to show too much of the information. And they're like, somebody stole our mail, got all of our account information, printed checks, and mailed them out. No, we're not trying to buy whatever it is you're selling. Fraud. Here's another good one. Customer calling. This is a $170,000 cashier's check. Customer calling and wants to buy 2 tow trucks. Says, no problem. You got one for 100, you got one for 70, totaling 170. I want them both. Called on a Monday. Tuesday, coming down tomorrow. Got to get the check. My mom's going to get it, as you can see, woman's name. No problem. Wednesday, calls about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Hey, we're coming down. We're almost there. No problem. Trucks are here. We're ready. Had them sitting out, clean and ready. Cashier's check. So finally, about 5 o'clock, we're running behind. Says we're going to get there about 6:15. No problem. We'll have somebody there to wait for you. It's no issue at all. Didn't matter that it was $170,000. Could have been $17,000. We still would have accommodated them. About 5:45, I said, you know what, we at least got to get some paperwork ready. So I call them back. You can hear some people in the background. I'm like, look, we do have to at least get some paperwork going since you're going to be after hours. Yeah, we're going to probably be close to 6:30. Okay. Well, send me a picture of your license and send me a picture of the check. Well, we hadn't decided whose name we're putting it in yet. Okay. Send me a picture of the check at least. So we'll have that. So sends me a picture of the check at like 6:05. What happens at 6:05? You can't call a bank. So we got somebody coming to pick up 2 trucks with a cashier's check. I can promise you, a big dealership, this would have left. As a matter of fact, how I know that is when we turned this one in, these people hit 2 other dealerships and left with vehicles. One was recovered, one was never recovered. We got ahead of it. Here's what they didn't think about. We're East Coast. West Coast, the banks are still open. Truist has banks across the country. So we found a branch that was still open. We gave them all this information. They put us on hold. They had to verify why we were calling, what was going on. They actually wanted a case number that we turned into the police. I'm like, look, this is just happening. Like right now, we need to know something. Sure enough, fraudulent check, fake check. Oh yeah, we even had, better cover some of this stuff up. We even had an ID sent to what was supposed to be the mom, which was probably a fraudulent ID. So anyway, account number didn't match, name didn't match, nothing matched. The name on here matched the check, so that part was good. We do our due diligence. That one could have gone bad really quickly. We called the customer back and said, hey, it's no need coming. Check's no good. Oh my gosh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, we called the bank. Well, it's after banking hour. How did you do that? We called the West Coast. Click. They hung right up. Let's hit another one here. This was a good one. This goes back a little ways. This one here, we actually went to court over. As you can see, there's tags in the folder. This was actually a deal, a fully finished deal. This customer came by and test drove a dump truck. And it was a pretty cool, well, real quick, Kristen, show the people, that may not be watching this normally. We saw a little bit of everything around here. Dump trucks. Now you're in one of our buildings that has a lot of our square bodies, but we sell boats, we sell cars, we sell dump trucks, we sell equipment, we sell ATVs, we sell dune buggies, golf carts, you name it, equipment. So, we do have a fair variety of different stuff. But this guy was buying a dump truck. He was also a pastor. He said, hey, I want this dump truck. No problem. Can I test drive it? Yep, test drove it. Called and said, hey, I'm running late. Got here at like 9 o'clock. Called, said, I'm running late. Can I drop it off after hours? He was test driving all day. Now, he did tell us he had to go back to his shop, which was across town. The next day, hey, man, I just want to drive that truck one more time. And again, pastor, well-dressed, dump truck, business. I guess it all could come together. That's fine, but we can't have it out all day again. Well, he literally parked it in the parking lot. We didn't look at it a second time. He came and test drives it again. When he comes back this time, the truck's very dirty. My guy that had walked past it earlier in the day from coming back the first day says, he was my detail guy, so he was upset. He said, man, why did they test drive that and get it filthy? Well, he was test driving the truck and using it. So after that, we said, look, no more test drives. Either make the deal or don't, but you're out using the truck. Oh, no, sir, but I just wanted to see if it worked. That's understandable. Okay, see if it worked, make sure it hauled the load. No problem, let's do the deal. Does the deal, writes us a check from the business, and lo and behold, check goes bad. At that point, he'd already had the truck for about a week and a half before we realized the check was bad, because banks are super slow. If you've ever had a check bounce, it takes forever. It takes almost 2 weeks. So that's why we hold funds for 2 weeks. So he'd been using the crap out of the truck. It was filthy. We called him and said, hey, your check went bad. There's no way, there's plenty of money in the account. Brings us another check. Lo and behold, it goes bad also. So we said, look, you got to bring the truck back. He refuses to bring the truck back. So we put it into the hands of the police. The police say, hey, it's not much we can really do, blah, blah, blah. If you want to send a repossession company, well, it wasn't really a repossession because we didn't finance it, so there was a thin line there. So we ended up doing what the police said, and we sent a repossession company. Well, lo and behold, he gets a lawyer involved, says we stole his truck, the funds were there, then they weren't there. He wanted to delay it. He wanted to pick his truck up. Well, we held our ground. We kept the truck. The police actually said we should have gave the truck back, but we knew what was going to happen. He was working the system. Well, about a week later, we go to a dealer meeting, and lo and behold, this man, Pastor so-and-so, we knew it by name for the longest time. I guess we probably shouldn't blast it out there. It is in here. Matter of fact, there's a whole protocol list. We had to go to court over it, circuit court, because he thought he was in his rights to do wrong. I mean, we have everything documented, dates, what took place. There's pages and pages that we had to document to show that we didn't do anything wrong. We did the right thing. He said we didn't do the right protocol. He got everybody he could involved. But lo and behold, he was just borrowing time because he had hit so many places with the same fraud and the same scam, and was using the pastor part of things to get over on people. And he had hit dealer after dealer after dealer after dealer. He had work trucks, sports cars, luxury cars, all under the same pretense. He kept milking the system, bringing them a little bit of money because something went wrong or a check didn't go right. Big case. Went all the way through court, and unfortunately, we had to deal with it. Unfortunately, we won, hands down. We were not in the wrong, but we had a truck that got used for almost a month for free. We had legal fees. We had time consumed. That one you probably won't ever run into, unless you're in the car business, but that was a good one. Let's go back here to another one. The one we're going to give you a very long video on, and I'm going to have my mom involved because it also involved court, was one that customer came in. I'll give you a little pre-up to it. And this could happen to you guys as a normal buyer. That's why you want to buyer beware on Facebook, Craigslist, and all that. This lady comes in on a Monday morning with her son, young son, and says, hey, my dad died, and I've got his truck that I inherited. Okay, no problem. We buy trucks like that all the time. It was lifted, looked good. She said, hey, I just want a fair price. You guys are really fair. I've been around here for a long time. Please give me a fair price, and I'm going to sell it to you. So I'm like, cool. So I go out and look at the truck. It was a great truck. Everything was as described. The mileage was low. Everything was good. I pulled it up. I scanned it. They were bringing, $40,000. And I was like, it's probably going to be around 40 grand. She was like, I was hoping for 50. Can you do any better? And I'm like, I think I did 41 or 42. I did help out a little bit. And I said, okay, next step is I need to see your driver's license. No problem. And I need to see the title. Have you already reassigned the title? Oh, yeah. I had all the stuff proper, so I went to DMV this morning and I got a title. Sure enough, her license matches the title, matches the VIN number. Everything's great. Like, cool. Matter of fact, I think we'd even done work on this truck, if I remember correctly. But I had to go back. This goes back a few years. So we were familiar with the truck. So no flags on this one. Everything looks perfect. Just like if you rolled up and they said, hey, that was my dad's Suburban I'm selling. I want X and X for it. I got the title. Cool. You go hand your cash, they go hand you keys, and you're gone. Pretty much what happened. We did a check. She left, and everything was good. Till it turns out that the vehicle was part of a scam and reported stolen by the previous owner that sold it to a scam artist. We'll go into that one in much more detail. Got a little bit too long-winded so far yet today. That one can catch you guys. That one went up and down the East Coast. It went west. It involved thousands of vehicles that were all sold to other people with clear faith, clear title, clear ownership, and they were out their money, just like we were. We fought it. We went through the process. We won. But I want you guys to know all the ins and outs of that deal, because that one can get you really easily. Back to the equipment one that we did before. If you didn't watch that video, please go back and watch that video. It was very informative about buying equipment. You can buy a piece of equipment that's stolen, and even though you did the right thing, you didn't know it was stolen, you didn't steal it, and you pay for it, if you're caught with it, you are caught with stolen goods. You're going to lose the item, you're going to catch a charge, and your money's gone. You're not getting it back. So that's a really easy one. The one I showed and told you guys about was pretty in-depth further than that, but just remember when buying equipment, ATVs, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, there's a ton of theft. And if you get caught up with it in your possession, I don't care if you got a bill of sale and a bank draft and a check that you paid, if you've got everything, if you have a stolen piece of merchandise, you're going to get caught with it in your hand. You're going to catch a charge over it. You're going to lose that item, and you're not going to get your money back. So thanks, guys. A lot more to elaborate on, plenty, but just to backtrack, we do turn these things in. We do go through the process. We do send them, and we do email them. But unfortunately, the state and the counties are too busy to track most of this stuff down. So no matter if you do put a file out there and show people what's going on, a lot of times it's not going anywhere. So thanks, guys. These other people that are going to sit in are going to be great. One of them's an investigator, one of them's a local police officer that we have to deal with quite often on things. So you're going to see the other side of this and how it happens. Thanks, guys. Please share, subscribe, and don't hesitate to put this thing out there everywhere so people can see it, learn about it, and understand what happens.